Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F1 League 2. Yes, you are reading the right title for tonight's live stream. We are here for the Season 17 opener in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Sakhir International Circuit. Good evening everyone, I am James Head, going to be taking you through the stream as always. Joining me in the commentary box, you might have seen him over the last 2 weeks within the Challenge Cup. I'm delighted to say he has joined me for Season 17. It is Paco Suarez. Paco, how are you doing?
Well, as excited as you are. I think today we're going to have good racing. Bahrain always gives good racing, and I think it's going to be a hard challenge for drivers.
If it was anything like last night, honestly, we should see a lot of hard, fair, clean, for the most part, racing. And I really hope that the drivers really show up put on a great show here tonight, given, of course, the circumstances that we are all facing currently in real world. To take you through the calendar then, Bahrain obviously here tonight. We go to 11 different tracks. Hopefully, we go to 11 different tracks. Bahrain round 1, then we go to Spain, Britain, Germany, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, America and Brazil. Those are the 11 tracks, and then we've got the Challenge Cup event right at the end of the season, and that is a 100% race around the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. So that is the calendar out the way. Running through the teams for this season, I started the stream a little bit late, so we're going to have to try and crack on with this a little bit. In the Mercedes is TTG Maximus with YWRJ Storm, but he's changed his name to YWR Storm. OWR Schumi and OWR Daniil is in the Ferrari, with in the Red Bull Jeffrey and Conti. In the McLaren, Key and Mashiro, defending champion coming into this season, Mashiro, and Challenge Cup winner as well. Charlie and Storm in the Racing Point, that is CTG Storm, not YWR Storm, like I've already mentioned. Atlas Coppo and Axnes for OWR and YWR for the Alfa Romeo team. In the Renault, it's Mays and Passels. In the Haas, it's Tom, and a great return, I think, for Wide Little Billy. He is back within League 2 this season. In the Toro Rosso, it is Hades and Pariah, and in the Williams, Lord Holton and Vax Viking. Those are the 20 drivers scheduled. We are missing a couple here tonight, but judging by those drivers out on track, how do you feel everyone's going to get on with it being the first round of the season?
Honestly, when it's the first round of the season, everyone wants to do well, you know, and they will try their best to start the season with a victory. So probably we might see crazy moves, we might see incredible action today. I hope they keep it clean, but as the first race of the season, it's gonna be actually chaotic, I think.
If it's anything last night, I think you've pretty much put the nail on the head right there. And honestly, last night's race, go and watch it back after this stream if you want to, because last night in TTL F1, it was crazy. It was on the limit racing, but it was fair, it was clean, and probably one of the best season openers I've seen, certainly in TTL F1. Looking through the comments section then, Storm Gaming, Ollie and Vax Viking all coming in and saying good evening. Vax Viking saying finally we are here. We are here indeed for the Sakhir at the Sakhir International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 18 minutes worth of qualifying and 50% race. If you are brand new to Formula One and brand new to watching us here on TTTV, then I welcome you all to the stream. And given I think our current circumstances, it's really good to get away from things, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely it is, and I agree totally with you there. So as I said before, we'll have to keep an eye. I think this track can always, when you have good drivers, you know, in a tier, they normally give good action, and we've seen it in the Challenge Cup that they gave us a good show. So let's see what they do today. It's gonna be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think, to see how everyone is going to unfold out on track tonight. I cannot wait for the action to begin. I'm sure you guys as the viewers can't wait for the action to begin, and I'm sure these drivers are feeling the nerves and the pressure out on track. Obviously, Paco, we are here in Bahrain, a track where really it is a bit technical in places. You can lose the back end times. How do you feel the drivers will approach this qualifying session? We saw last night in TTL F1 that a majority of the guys went on a set of medium compound of tyres. Do you think that's the best strategy to do around here, to go out on a set?
I mean, definitely the strategy here is medium to hard, so hard to medium. You cannot put soft, because if not, you're dead. And I think most of the people will try to qualify on mediums. About the track, is actually, yeah, you've said it, it's a technical track, and definitely drivers will have to watch out for turn 9 and 10, and that double left-handed corner is really, really difficult, and if you don't run ABS, it's really easy to lock up. So it's gonna be a challenge for the drivers. Strategy, it's gonna be straightforward. Let's see what drivers do, but as I said, if anyone puts the softs, it's like committing suicide, basically.
You've basically forced that upon Storm then, because he came out on a set of soft compound of tyres. It might just be for an outlap. We saw that last night with Recon, I think, earlier on last night. Key is the first one out on track though, and in the McLaren he really had a good season last season, towards the end especially, with that fantastic battle. I remember me and Malc commentating on it in Russia, where Key and Storm, TTG Storm, went at it hammer and tongs pretty much through the entire race in TTSL. Great driver. How do you think he's going to get on tonight?
Who was the driver that you mentioned first?
Key.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've raced against him. I know he is pretty consistent, you know, and once he improves, you can count on him for the title, as a title contender. And honestly, I think that he will not have an easy job to win the championship. I mean, probably he's a contender, but he has many drivers to try and beat, you know, like Mashiro, like Storm, like Maximus. Those drivers will have to keep an eye on them because they are really fast, and it will be actually a challenge for him to win the title. But let's see, because as I said, he always consistent, and maybe he can put a good show tonight.
Yeah, certainly through the first 3 corners. He is on a set of hard compound of tyres. Key looking very confident on the power early on, which is good to see. Coming through the first sector now, 28.5. Racing Points in the final sector has got a yellow flag, but that is just purely to prepare for a lap out on track. Key then down in towards turn 8. Very difficult corner to get right, and now into the double left of turn 9 and 10. You are literally turning on the camber of the corner through here. Go out as wide as possible, try and go deep in. Not really that bad through there. You can probably shoot that up towards the inside of the apex a little bit, but Key through there quite nicely, upping up the DRS straight. Into 8th gear, some drivers do tend to take 7, and that is probably why you can't really get the run out of the corner at all through into turn 11, now through turn 12, and towards the end of the middle sector to 107.6 through the middle sector for Key. Even slightly wide through turn 13, but now can put the hammer down as he approaches the final 2 corners, as there is a Mercedes round. Is that YWR Storm? I think it is. Yeah. YWR Storm round in the final sector. Key round the final corner to complete a lap. It looks like it's going to be 129 to begin off with. Key across the line, yeah, 29.7. Not a bad lap at all. Storm, I think, lost it through turn 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he just touched the curb, and he totally lost it. And about the key lap, I think that, well, 129.7 is not bad. Probably, I mean, if I was racing, the target would be low 29s with hards, but still that's a competitive lap, and let's see if anyone is able to beat it.
There you go. Literally right on time. Axel is coming around the final corner there. Very good lap time from him, 29.2. Storm I was on board with as well, 29.4. So really the early laps beginning to unfold here. Charlie hadn't invalidated lap there. He is on a set of medium compound of tyres. Preferably, I think, that is the strategy to be on. Billy has just gone third back on his return. 8 thousandths ahead of Key for third position. The Haas man there in third position. Passel's then on a set of soft compound of tyres. Just coming through the middle sector. He's on the he's up and up the DRS now, running down the straight. He's on a set of soft compound of tyres. In terms of strategy for qualifying, that's the wrong one to be on, I think.
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, maybe we don't know if they're doing like, maybe just at the end of the lap they back off, you know, and they do not finish the lap or whatever. But it's true that going on softs is a bit suicidal. I mean, you would have to do soft 2 hards and you would struggle, or just do 2 stops with soft medium. So drivers that today go on soft, they are probably not on the fight for the win, as we see Puzzles with a soft 1:29.8. That's a slow lap, so it could be beaten easily with the mediums or the hards. Let's see what he does, but at the moment that would not be the right call to do.
Definitely not the right call, because I think Charlie is about 3/10 up on him through the middle sector coming through here. Key, by the way, improved to a 29.1 in amongst that. 6 minutes through qualifying. Now Charlie's coming into the pits. Brilliant. Fantastic. Atlas Copper coming through. Jeffrey looks like he's on the end of his lap now. This is not any sort of lap from Jeffrey. He might be coming back into the pits here. He's not. He's going to prepare for another one. Opens up that DRS, running down the straight. Gets a banker in at 1:37.7. How important is it to get a banker lap around here in Bahrain? Because there's quite a few corners where you can pick up an invalidation.
I mean, definitely to do a banker lap is important. You know, as we see Mashiro put in 1:28.9, that's actually a competitive time with the hearts. But as you asked, it's really important because here you can invalidate easily in that second sector, mostly. And honestly, if it was me who was racing, I would try and start risking a little bit until I get a good lap, you know. But that's true. Here it's important to do a bunker lap because you can invalidate it easily, and mostly in the second sector, in this just after crossing the second sector. That turn is really difficult to do, and you can easily exit the limits of the track, or you can easily cut the corner.
Yeah, Atlas Copper just about to come across the line then. 30.2 goes 9th. Vax Viking came in as well to go 2nd with a 29.1. And that's on a set of medium compound of tyres. About 2/10 off Mashiro's fastest lap of a 28.9. In terms of the lap times that the guys were setting last night, it was ILRT Thomas who actually set, I think it was a 26.5 on a set of medium compound of tyres. So just to put the threat out there, that's what the guys are going to try and have to beat here tonight. I don't think we'll see a lap like that, but you never know.
I mean, seeing what Mashiro has done on those arcs, that it's actually a decent time. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a decent time. Probably if he goes to medium sours, we see the Renault from Puzzles just bottling it after
turn 12.
Yeah, turn 12. But yeah, maybe with Mashiro we can see a 1:27, mid-27 with the mediums. Maybe, just maybe. He'll have to nail the lap, but it wouldn't be impossible to do that, but still a bit far, obviously, from Thomas' time.
Yeah, 28.9 is a good lap, I think, representative for a set of hard compound of tyres. The McLaren man currently out on top as we approach the halfway stage here in qualifying. If you are just tuning in for your motorsport fix here on a Friday night, then you came to the right place. It is TTL F1 League 2 as Jeffrey sets up the purple sector there in the middle. Runs wide through turn 13, albeit that might have been an invalidation, but it's not. He's still continuing on. Mashiro to the top of the timing from Vax Viking, Key, Axnes, Passel the top 5, with Storm, Billy, Conti, Atlas Corpo, Jeffrey, who will move up, I think, towards the top half of the field here. Jeffrey across the line goes 7th, 29.4, and a 1.2 second improvement there from the Red Bull man. He jumps into 7th and drops Billy down to 8th. Conti now 9th, Atlas Corpo in 10th, Maximus in 11th, who is on a lap, Storm in 12th, and the rest still yet to go on a lap. That is Charlie, Mays, Pariah, and Hades. Maximus then on a lap, just coming through the end of the first sector there, 500 off on his lap, 30.8. You would expect him to be a bit quicker, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first sector, depending on what tire, generally with the softs, it has to be 26, 27. If you go on the hards, definitely 29. It's a decent time on the first sector.
Yeah, Maximus just coming through towards the end of the middle sector now. Gaming Ollie saying, is there a new commentator in the commentary box? There is. Paco Suarez joining me alongside me for the rest of the season. Maximus lighting up purple in the middle sector. Currently, I think he's going to be going around Jeffrey Storm sort of time here. 29.4 might be his theoretical best. Maximus then coming around the final couple of corners. Mashiro still out on top, like spiking second. Maximus gonna go well up there, I think, with this. That's better. 4th, 29.2.
But I have to say that Maximus take it really cautiously on that last corner. He went a bit slow, you know. He could have tried and attack more the apex, but he didn't. So probably he can still gain 1 or 2 tenths maybe. But yeah, still really good lap from Maximus.
Yeah, Maximus 29.2. I think you said quite rightly that he did take a little bit of feathering of the throttle, I like to call it, through that final corner. It is to preserve the traction on the tyres. That is why you might have seen that. Storm, YWR Storm on a lap, currently out on track. Currently P12, a 49.2. Inevitably, he's going to go miles quicker than his lap time currently. He should be setting a good lap here in the Mercedes. Coming around the final corner now. Could be on for 29. He is going to floor it to the line then. Storm across the line. Goes 10th, just ahead of Billy. Billy obviously can improve on his lap time. I think he's on a lap just coming through the middle sector. And you can see he's actually 6 tenths up through the middle sector. Missing the apex, which has been costly for him in the past. And a 106.5 in the middle sector, I think is the quickest we've seen all night.
Yeah, probably it is, I have to say. I mean, I haven't been really paying attention to the sector. I mean, I don't have a good memory, to be honest, but that's actually a competitive time through the second
sector. Going to go ahead of Mashiro. Yeah, he's going to go ahead of Mashiro with this across the line. 28.4 from Billy, 5 tenths ahead of Mashiro, or just under 5 tenths ahead of Mashiro. Very good lap there from the Haas man, and marking his return to TTL F1 League 2 in fine style. He goes provisionally to the top of the standings out on track, but I've got to be honest, I've commented on Billy around here before. That turn 12 curb is really the wrong doing of him. I've seen him spin there multiple times. I don't want to jinx anything. He's currently out on top in qualifying, but it's one thing to set a good lap in qualifying. It's another thing to then transfer that to the race and try and win.
Yeah, definitely it is, because we've seen many drivers that can do really well on quali, but then on the race, for whatever the reason, they just cannot keep the pace constant. And actually, one of the main challenges that drivers will have in the race is turn 10 and turn 12, definitely, because you have that, you don't have to lock up and you don't have to go deep on the braking, and then you don't have to touch the curb on turn 12. So, as you say, yeah, the lap on quali doesn't mean that on the race you're gonna do well.
Mays catching a bit of spin just on the bump through turn 4. That was costly for one of the drivers last night in TTL F1. He crashes it out of the session. It's unfortunate for Mays. It looked good through the first couple of corners, but he is out of the session on a set of medium compound of tyres. That means if nobody comes out the pits behind him, Pariah or Hades and the two Toro Rossos, Mays will be starting 14th out on track. I'm afraid to say there's not really much going on out on track. Everyone waiting, I think, for the final couple of laps. Storm, however, is on a lap time, 29.4, already nearly 4 tenths up in the first sector. Anything he's going to get on here, he should, I think, be around Billy's sort of pace.
I think he's better than that, honestly. I think that he should be with Mashiro. You know, he showed in the Challenge Cup that he was there. He had the quality pace at least to try and beat Mashiro as he comes improving 8/10. And probably if he is able to finish that lap well, maybe we might see a low 28 or 27.9. We'll have to see. But honestly, I can see Storm trying and beat Mashiro as he is gonna cross the finish line and he goes first. Yeah, 1/10, well, less than 1/10 in front of Billy. And that's actually, well, we're getting closer to the low 28, to the flat 28.
I think Storm actually has downfounded himself with that lap, to be honest. I don't think he's got the chance now to come back in to the session, as Mays has left the session there. Storm, I don't think has got a chance to actually set another lap. So that might be his best lap that he can set. 2 minutes and 50 seconds just under on the clock left to go here in qualifying. It's about 1 minute and 28 lap time for Storm to get back into the pits. Then you've got about a 45-second buffer in terms of actually getting back into the pits, trying to change up your setup, change the tyres, and then you're back out. It's simple, but Storm, I think, has missed this out on track. Key has just came across the line though in the McLaren, looking to go around Storm and Billy's sort of pace. McLaren man through turns 1 and 2 very nicely indeed, and now through turn 3 as Mays has rejoined the session, which is good to see. As now Key runs slightly uphill towards turn 4. Hopefully he doesn't get caught on the bump halfway through the corner. Right on the curb instead, just nicely through there. Key coming through first sector at a 28.4. It says he's on an out lap, but he's not. It's a 28.4 for Key currently through the first sector. Now through turn 8.
And just behind comes his teammate. Well, I thought he was. No, he's on a lap. Yeah, he was on a lap technically, and he was doing a 28.2, so 2 tenths faster than his teammate. But now it's appear as if he was doing the out lap.
Yeah, I think it's quite strange. I think it might be, to be honest, when somebody rejoins the session. That's why we have a little bit of a glitch there. So apologies about that. It hasn't been fixed yet. Codemasters get to work. Key coming through turn 12, looking good through there. Can't really see what his middle sector was, but trust me, he's on a lap after coming through turn 13 and now down the hill slightly towards turn 14. Again, hanging off the camera of the corner as he comes towards turn 14, breaking just off the 100-metre ball, getting tight into the apex there, very nicely indeed. I think, in theory, he should be going around Storm and Billy. Key coming across the line now, 28.2, goes to the top.
Yeah,
Mashiro across the line, 28.1, goes a tenth quicker than Key. So the two McLarens out on track. First two in qualifying, but it's getting quite congested towards the top.
Yeah, and Billy's now on his second attempt on those medium tires. He didn't improve in the first sector by 13,000 of a second, but let's see how he carries on the lap. Probably, he went too deep. I don't think that's a good lap, but yeah, actually the top, it's really congested. I mean, they are pretty close, the top 4. And
that's
it's actually
3 tenths,
surprising.
I think.
Yeah, and it's surprising because I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Billy's looking good. Oh, he's just invalidated there on the exit of turn 12, on the outside curb of the corner. That's where he invalidated out on that. So we'll go on board with the guy that's behind him out on track. I think it's one of the Toro Rossos, and it is in fact Pariah through the middle sector. 106.3 through the middle sector from Pariah. One of the quickest that we've seen that I've been on board with anyways tonight is Pariah from about 10 seconds underneath the arch to the line. He should be theoretically ahead of Mashiro, I think, with this sort of lap. Pariah now down towards the line. Can he go ahead of Mashiro? He does. Oof. Just about 9 thousandths of a second. Talk about cutting it fine.
That's amazing. I mean, he came out of the blue. I mean, I didn't even notice that he was doing such a good lap, and he's now on pole. Decent stuff from Pariah.
There's going to be plenty of improvements then in the last dying embers really of qualifying. Maximus 4/10 up through the middle sector, through the final corner. He's going to be the first to come across the line. He should be right up there. He's not going to go pole though, and he goes 6th, and he improves by 4/10 of a second. Let's see, Axnes coming across the line, goes ahead of him, 28.7. Parcells across the line, goes 8th, 29 flat on a set of softs. Jeffrey across the line, goes 3rd, 28.2. Very nice lap there. I'm trying to keep up. Vax Viking across the line, not going to improve. 29.4 in the end for Vax Viking. Atlas Copo was invalidated. Storm was invalidated. That's qualifying over. Pariah, 9,000th of a second ahead of Mashiro, with Jeffrey rounding off the top 3. Look at how close the top 4 are. Less than a 10th.
What? I mean, I didn't expect that, honestly. When I was seeing Mashiro, you know, doing his lap on hards and no one was actually challenging him, you know, I didn't think that anyone could actually beat him, and suddenly Pariah out of nowhere sets 20 lap that is faster. So good stuff. I think we're gonna have an interesting race, and this is what always happened, you know, in the Challenge Cup. We were seeing a quali that through times it didn't seem as competitive as we would think, and suddenly in the end it gets congested, and then in the race we have an awesome race. So let's cross fingers and see that today it's the same situation in the race.
The tightest grid I think you could have in TTL F1 League 2 sees Pariah to the top of the standings, from Mashiro in 2nd, Jeffrey in 3rd, with Key in 4th, Storm in 5th, Billy in 6th, Conti in 7th, Axnes in 8th, Maximus 9th. Parcells interestingly on a set of softs in 10th, with Hadez, Vax Viking, top 12 separated by less than a second. Atlas Copo, YWR Storm. Charlie and Mays not setting a lap time. Mays reporting that he had a wheel issue, which is why no time was set for the Renault driver. But in perspective, with Charlie and Mays being towards the back of the field, how hard is it for those guys to come through the field around here in Bahrain, providing everything is clean?
As you said, in the situation that everything is clean, it's not impossible. I mean, you have place to overtakes, the main straight, the second straight with DRS. You have some spots, so you can, with a good strategy, you know, and a good pace, you can actually try and come back. But in the case that it's not clean, you know, the driving standards are not as good as you would hope, then you have a difficult challenge ahead. But let's see, probably we'll see good racing, and they still have a chance to try and come, maybe not with a win, but probably a top 6, top 7. They could try.
Isn't it good to see a full grid of Formula 1 cars out on track? 16 drivers then about to do battle here around the circuit of Bahrain. It is the Sakhir International Circuit. If you are just tuning in at the right time, then welcome to TTL F1 League 2. We are here, it's James Head and Paco Suarez in the commentary box to take you through 29 laps worth of action. And well, Pariah taking pole by 9,000ths of a second. A majority of the drivers going on for a set of medium compound of tyres. When do you expect, out of the, in terms of the top 10, when do you expect these guys on a set of mediums begin to pit in? Because last in TTL F1 last night, I think it was about lap 13, lap 14 at some point.
Yeah, I think it's mediums can actually be taken till lap 11, 12. It's when you should pit to not lose time. Then you can try and stretch the life of the tire, you know. And if you're starting in the opposite tire, in the hards, then you should try and go till lap 19, lap 18, 19. But still, let's see, because as the race moves on, you know, the strategy can change. They can try an undercut, they can try an overcut. So we'll have to wait and see. But the ideal strategy, it's pitting in lap 12 for hards and in lap 18 for mediums.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, to be honest, with the strategies. Luckily, nobody going on a set of hard compound of tyres. In terms of the fresher soft compound of tyres, which Charlie is on, He should get to around lap 7, lap 8, maybe try one stop on a set of hards, because I've seen it done before that they can last 20, 21 laps. But in terms of strategy, I think he might be going 2 stop. Same with Passels, I think he could be going 2 stop. The rest you would try and aim for a bit of a 1 stop strategy. Quickly, before we go live to the action, what's your top 3?
Oof, difficult, and I have to think quickly. Let's see. Mashiro on top, Piraya second, and Kiki third.
Interesting top 3 there from Paco. We are just moments away then from season 17 open of TTL F1 League 2. The 5 red lights are about to go out. Long hold, but it is. Lights out and away we go. Pariah gets a very good start from the line. Mashiro gets a good start as well. Jeffrey are going to be alongside Mashiro down towards turn 1. Key with a good start as well. Watch out for the Constantino effect down towards turn 1. The leaders are through safely. Key trying to go up the inside of his teammate. Mashiro around the outside of Jeffrey. Jeffrey down the inside, a little bit of contact, but he gets the move done, I think. Very hard and fair racing. Everyone looks like they're clean through. Mays taking it quite easily in the background of shot as Mashiro goes down the inside towards turn 4. The Japanese man and the Dutchman really fighting here for position, and Mashiro's repaid the favour back on Jeffrey, and he gets the move done as they fly through the S section for the first time. Relatively clean, a little bit of bumping and bodging as Storm, yeah, you're right, Storm trying to go for a switchback. Jeffrey going a little bit too deep, contacts into Mashiro. Storm has made good ground, the other Storm has made good ground through the field. Conti as well has made good ground, and that is a right side end plate going off Jeffrey's Red Bull, forces Mashiro wide. Mashiro is going to have to rejoin track in a safe nature, which he does just in front of Storm. Pariah, all of this battling for the lead of the race is beginning to let Pariah get away. 2 seconds the gap. We saw this in TTL F1 with Thomas and Kalsper. Pariah is getting away early, and this really is the best strategy to have at this stage of the race. Conti and Storm just running side by side there. Storm running wide. Hades is through. Looks like Maximus will probably go through on the inside as well. He doesn't. But towards the end of the first sector, Storm and Mashiro down into the final corner. Storm taking it nice and easily. Jeffrey with that front wing damage might choose to pit in, but he's going to have to defend the position. Pariah is 3 seconds clear at the end of lap 1, and very similar to what we saw last night in TTL F1. It's going to be 3 wide down towards the straight, but Mashiro Key actually trying to go down the inside. Oh my goodness me, Constantino effect and a half there, but how on earth has Key managed to pull off a 3-way move for second? How on earth has he done that? 3.2 seconds is now the gap between himself and Pariah. Jeffrey in third, Storm in fourth. Billy has made up good ground into fifth. Mashiro is losing ground quite a lot. Axner is trying to go up the inside of him, really fighting hard. The TTSL champion really much struggling. Has he got front wing damage? He has. Right side end plate.
Oh, right side. Oh, I always get it, but come on.
Storm and Jeffrey side by side down towards turn 9 and 10, and Jeffrey goes around the outside down into turn 9 and 10. So Jeffrey pulls off the move on Storm, but he in turn gets a better exit, and looks like Storm might have the job done here. And yes, he's a full car width ahead, and Storm is into P3. You can take over. You're not going to get the microphone back from me. First lap, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
oh,
it
Billy!
Was absolutely. Oh, and I think he has damage too. He has. Oh, and the Red Bull goes wide as he loses the back end, and I think he's round. Oh, what his teammate. Wow, actual drama. I mean, there has been many incidents. You know, Mashiro, the damage he got, as Billy did, he just went into the back of the car he had, and he got damaged, and that's really unfortunate because now Billy, the Red Bull from Jeffrey and Mashiro have a really difficult race ahead. As we can see, the Alfa Romeo and the Toro Rosso fighting as Billy tries to defend from Axnes. So we have actually good racing right now. And look behind, because I think we have the Renault and the Racing Point side by side. Is Puzzles trying to get round the outside, but it's Charlie. Oh, look at that switchback. Might it work? No, it doesn't. And meanwhile, behind, I thought Mate was defending from Pulse Peking, but there was no battle going on. But Access, as you said, yeah, tell me.
I think Access, has he been overtaken by Hades?
Yeah, he has. Ooh, Hades actually making a... Yeah,
turn 8, I think that was.
well, that was actually good dive then. But as you said, it was a chaotic start with many incidents going on. And I ask you, can I change my prediction, please?
You can. Maximus is down the inside of Axnes, though. Side-by-side contact there between the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes, and the Alfa Romeo just joins on track a little bit too dangerously. How on earth they've kept their cars going is absolutely beyond me. Maximus Axnes just needs to rejoin track and a little bit of cleaner air. Mashiro and Conti, by the way, have already been into the pit. Storm and Mays and Vax Viking. Storm goes massively wide. He's got damage, I think, on the right side end plate. Jeffrey is into the pit. A lot happening here in TTL F1 League 2 as Hades is down the inside of Billy. We've seen a good battle between these two before last season, and Hades and Billy through the P4 and P5, but here comes the brick right on the back of the move region. He can make two moves, but that is just too much from Hades. That is definitely going to be looked at the stewards. He goes wide, I think, lets Billy through as a result. That was not on.
That was a bit dirty. I mean, I couldn't see right the action, I didn't have the
he
best
got the
camera
back end.
angle. Oh, yeah, definitely Hades having issues and probably overheated tires is where he's struggling. But yeah, that was not a good move, defensive move. He could have done better. And now Billy opens 1 second gap, and we can see that now Hades is under pressure from Maximus. Will the Merc driver try the move on turn 11? He tries from the outside. The throw was just, almost spin around, but he saved it. And now he is behind the Alfa Romeo from Agnes. Wow, I don't know why I'm struggling to pronounce that name.
It's fine. It's Axnes. Deary me. Yeah, Maximus just, I think, misjudging his line through there. Axnes was always going to defend the inside of the corner. Maximus going around the outside. He had the car ahead going into the corner, but he could have just pulled that move off a little bit too soon. Pariah leads 2.4 seconds. The gap has came down. Key now in second. Storm in third. We have settling down, taking in the first couple of laps. Pretty much on the edge racing, if not just above the edge, I think is the best way to really describe that. Mays is trying to chase down Vax Viking down into turn 1 for P11. Never going to be close enough though. But, the Norwegian runs wide. Mays, around the outside. Yeah, gets the job done. Easy move. Vax Viking just misjudging that.
Yeah, definitely. He couldn't try and rejoin, but it was too late, and May had the position. Look at Kiki, 1.1. I think Piraya made a mistake. Suddenly, he's almost in DRS range.
Look at look at the blistering on the front tyres, actually. The black line essentially going through the middle of the tyres. That is blistering occurring on the tyres already. So with the night conditions, with the colder temperatures, these mediums do not look like they're lasting that much.
No, it doesn't look like they will last. Probably we'll see them pitting before we expect it. Probably lap 10, maybe lap 11, I'm not sure. But
has he got left side end plate damage? Pariah? I think he might. I think he's missing a winglet on that left side end plate.
What an eye you have, because I'm trying to look and I just cannot No, I cannot see the difference between one plate and the other, and the camera angle is not helping.
I know, the key right on the back then of Pariah coming down towards turn 1, whatever's happened anyways. In fact, I'll go on race director and have a look at the last laps. Pariah 34 flat, Key 32.4, so there must have been a mistake on that lap from Pariah. So Key now in second, trying to chase him down, but this I think, with a little bit of cleaner air in behind, I think Storm is coming into play here. 1.4 seconds off Key, 2 seconds off the lead of the race. He's got a little bit of clean air and a bit of a buffer ahead of him. Surely if these two battle ahead, Storm's going to be right on top within a lap.
To be honest, if I was Storm, I would take it cautiously. I mean, you are behind, they're going to fight, try to save your race, try to save tires, just be calm. And when the moment comes, try and make the move and try to push. But right now he has to be clever and be able to manage the race as he wants to.
He just running out wide there through turn 11. Pariah still holding the lead of the race from Key in second. Storm in third. Yeah, speaking about that, he is taking it quite cautious. To be honest, I think Storm's middle name is Cautious, to be honest. Out on track. He is doing a good job though. Maximus catching Billy in behind as well. That battle for 4th is going to heat up, as is the battle for 6th and 7th, as is the battle for 11th and 12th. So, and there's the battle for the lead of the race as well. So it's all going to kick off in big time here. Key looking a lot quicker here than Pariah. Is he going to try and thread it down the inside? A little bit of lag there, I think, but Key has got the move done quite comfortably. Billy is into the pits in the meantime.
And Edror also hit Kiki, like he rear-ended him, but fortunately he didn't lose the back end, but that could have ended horribly. And look at Edror, so he's going to try and make
down the inside, surely not.
Oof. And
he's good side by side.
No.
Key just about rejoined in front of him. That was inches. If he joined like half a second later, there would have been contact there, quite literally. Now trying to go down the inside. Oh, a bit of banging wheels, but look who's getting down on all of this. I said it'd be on top of him within a lap. Storm, right on the back of Key and Pariah. This stays the R for now. Maximus now into 4th. Billy has been into the pits. He's come out ahead of Jeffrey, so Conti's undercut him when he pitted. Axnes and Hades have changed positions as well, so Hades is up to 5th ahead of Axnes for 6th, and Mace is now going to head back to Viking. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and that is Vax Viking, I think. Yeah, Vax Viking. Machio just coming around behind him. He rejoins track, losing it through turn 8. Not really the best place to lose it, but three-way battle for the lead, a battle for 5th. Really hotting up out on track. Key's surely not going to go down the inside. No, he's going to wait for the DRS.
Clever. Really clever, yeah, definitely. He backed off, and but now Storm could have a run. Nah, he's not here.
He's going to get a double toe. He's going to get double toe down the straight here. Pariah is going to be an absolute sitting duck, surely. Pariah just moves across, and that is allowed to try and position the car, but Key is through. Will try and really show up the gap, but leaves a bit of a gap. But look at Storm trying to go around the outside. He uses the camera on the corner to try and come back. He doesn't. Pariah's on the back of Key. This is really hotting up for TTL F1 League 2 as Pariah sails it right around the outside.
Oh, they bang wheels.
Oh, this is really tight racing between them both. Oh, and Key! And Pariah, I think Key didn't really mean that. That was the racing line he was taking, and Key was ahead on Pariah. Should have been a little bit cleaner, I think, there.
Yeah, definitely Kiki should have been aware of where Pariah was, you know, and he didn't take that into consideration. He just did the line of his Pariah wasn't there.
Battle for Charlie's just gone past Atlas Copo for position down towards turn 9. He's gone well deep. I'm just seeing that on the minimap. Atlas Copo has sailed past Charlie once again. Key just running off the clamber of the corner. Pariah now in second, Storm in third. But the real gainer is beginning to come out of the pack. That's Maximus. That was 4 seconds the gap between himself and Storm. Because all of this battling is beginning to happen, and essentially they're stuck in a bit of a DRS train out on track, Pariah and Storm especially. Maximus beginning to reel in the top 3. Storm just goes up a little bit too deep into the final corner. Pariah then sizing up and move on Key as they run down towards turn 1. Charlie's on the back of Atlas Copo. We'll cut to that in just a second. For Pariah, surely going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. Key breaks earlier, and Pariah sailed around the outside. He even had time to swap to the racing line. So Pariah through into the lead of the race. Storm right on the back. Axnes has gone past Hades, and Charlie going past Atlas Copo. That is down towards turn 1. So Charlie has got the move done now on Atlas Copo. It's side by side though in the background between Axnes and Hades, and Axnes coming out on top. I don't think Hades using up any ERS there on track. Atlas Copo is going past Charlie as well. A lot of battling happening here. Conti into the pits.
He tries to switch back. Charlie tries to switch back, but it doesn't work. I think those tyres
are going soft.
Yeah, are going, definitely. Because we can see Atlas is faster than Charlie, and he has better traction on the corners, but still Charlie is keeping just behind Atlas, which is surprising because with those tyres
here comes Key, sorry to cut in. Key's down the inside into turn 11. Oh, Pariah's trying to hang around the outside. Ooh. Storm, a little bit of banging wheels. Nothing more, nothing less. And Kia's round the outside through turn 12. Brilliant move. He read that to perfection. No. Storm not going to try it down the inside. Cautious is his middle name, remember. He just wants to really let these two fight. But look at the gap behind, because Maximus is gaining threefold on these guys. 2.3 seconds now, the gap between third and fourth out on track. Hades and Accident also battling out on track. That's a mouthful to say if you've had a skinful. Of course, you wouldn't have had a skinful if you were in the UK, because all pubs are now shut. Pariah right on the back of Key, then down towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? We're only on lap 10 out of 29. I don't know how on earth this three-way battle's going to continue on, but Pariah is round the outside. Sensational move there. Oh, and he just rejoins track. A little bit of contact. Key, I think, hasn't got any damage. Storm trying to get the move done. Again, cautious middle name. Key down the inside on Pariah. And Key's down the inside through turn 4. A little bit of banging wheels again. Will Key use the racing line? He learned from last time. Key is down the inside, defends the position. That is how you defend the position through 6 and 7. Pariah now into turn 8. It's still happening out on track. This is unreal racing.
Coming behind.
Maximus. Oh my god. Where's he came from? This is unreal. This is even better than TTL F1 last night.
Now they're wheeled. I mean,
this is good run out by Pariah. And look at Storm. Storm with a much better exit. His Key is going to be swamped here, surely. Storm trying to go down the inside, maybe into Pariah. He's certainly down the inside on Key. Storm down the inside, gets the move done. What a move by Storm. He took the second. Key, an absolute sitting duck, boxed in to perfection, I think, there by both Pariah and Storm. Nothing you can do about that, but Maximus is probably wetting his lips at this stage. Fourth place, he's just over a second off the lead. He never would have dreamt that 3 laps ago.
Yeah, definitely, we're having a crazy battle. Like, no one saw Maximus coming, and it's thanks to this battle, as we can with DRS. And the McLaren looked behind. He could try the move on turn 1. He doesn't. And the Toro Rosso tries to make it back. They go side by side. Now the Toro Rosso will try and have DRS. But will he make the move through turn 4? He moves into the inside. Storm barely fights the position. But he tries to give it around the outside. He doesn't. Tries the switchback. And behind Kiki, I think.
He just topped the back of Storm there. He unsettled himself with the tap on the back end. Didn't unsettle Storm because Storm's right on the back of Pariah. Maximus again wetting his lips. Hades and Axnes are not out of this either. They're beginning to reel these guys in. It comes to show what clean air can do around even Bahrain.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having clean air is key here, and if you're involved in a battle, you're gonna lose a lot of time, and we can see that guys behind that generally won't be there in normal conditions are having the chance to actually catch up and try and be in the battle, because basically Bahrain is a DRS track. Like, if you get involved in a battle, it's gonna be a DRS train. So probably if we saw guys, you know, that they are in top tier divisions, they'll probably not fight, you know, and they would try and be clever and wait for the second stint of the race. But here we see that they don't care about strategy, they don't care about trying making up, and they just go for the move. Yeah.
Pariah into the pits from the lead of the race, and I think Key is also in. Key also in. Yeah. So both of them into the pits, and you were spot on, I think, in terms of strategy. These guys going, it looks like maybe one stop. Ontraceta hard, I would think, to the end. Yeah, Key has certainly done that, as has Pariah. So you're dead on with the strategy. Lap 11, you said. Perfect. Access trying to catch Hades. Go on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was the lap they were supposed to beat, and with these battles, well, actually it was lap 12, but with these battles, probably they felt like the tires were going off a bit. And what happened right now?
Pariah on cold tyres nearly outbroke himself into the back of Mashiro, who had just got past him out on track. Pariah very close to the back there of Mashiro. Axnes, though, right on the back of Hades. Parcells and Charlie are battling. That was for position. Charlie, I think, has lost a little bit of time. Looking at the minimap, he certainly has lost a bit of time out on track. But Axnes trying to chase down Hades. Thank goodness I think it's gone a little bit quieter out on track, because I couldn't keep up with that three-way battle or four-way battle, however many cars was involved. Goodness me, it was brilliant. But Axnes right on the back of Hades. These two have been quite consistent, and Axnes 4.5 tenths up on his personal best. Looking the quicker driver at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them are being consistent. Although I thought Harris would start losing pace, but he's been quite consistent. He's been able to keep the pace, and they are now all into the pits. Yeah, the leaders also pit. And watch out, because I'm gonna put you into a fiction situation. Imagine that now a safety car comes out. Who would win? Basically, who would be the winner in this situation? Mashiro, because he would be able to be again into the battle, you know, to rejoin the battle. He would be able to pit and be back into the battle.
Key sailing past Pariah down the straight. That was very easy indeed, and he actually rejoins. Essentially, in the legal race, Pariah's just gone too deep into turn one. Not really a call for to try and pull off that move, but once again, these three are beginning to get quite heated out. A drag storm involved as well. Pariah trying to go around the outside of Key. 1 lap 13 out of 29. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the action as much as we have. Key has got the move done on Pariah finally. That is for the net lead of the race out on track. Storm 2 tenths off. Maximus 1.6 seconds behind. Now, I tell you what, Billy, if he can last those tyres to the end, not out of it, as is Hades.
I hope you've enjoyed your break. I mean, this lap break, because now we're back into action, and now we're having insane battle between these three. And just keep in mind that if they keep fighting, Mashiro could have a chance in the end, at the end of the race. Why? Because he would go on hards, probably. He has no other choice than going on hards. But maybe if they keep fighting with Mashiro, we know that Mashiro has a good pace, he might be able to reduce that gap and get back into the fight by the end of the race.
Gap is extending out, yeah, 3.6 seconds. However, I think Mashiro will probably come in this lap. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that is a Red Bull. It's Conti. Yeah, Mashiro was into the pits. So Mashiro into the pits from the lead. Conti is out. Charlie, I think, is round through turn 12 as well. Just seeing that on the mini-map and seeing him losing the positions there. But it's all kicking once again. 6 cars pretty much within the fight for the lead, really, if you count it. It's separated by 3.1 seconds out on track. Maximus has sailed past Billy. Billy trying to get the move done. Conti 10-second time penalty and has left the session. Not really great that he's the host of the lobby.
Yeah,
surely he could have stayed to the end. But Maximus trying to go down the inside. Billy around the outside. Still confident on those tyres. And he pulls it off around the outside. Billy up the 4th.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just lost because we are having so many battles. And it's actually insane to see so many drivers fighting for the win. And yeah, look at that. I mean, now Hades, who was way behind the leaders, is now pretty close, you know. We could say he's pretty close, and if by right try to make the move back,
no way.
Actually see some battling going on.
Mashiro's down the inside of Atlas Copel through turn 9. What a move! Atlas Copel through. Mashiro down the inside of Atlas Copel. Goodness me, I can't keep up. It's different drivers with different names. Mashiro through on the inside line. I think Atlas Copel might have just gifted them the position. In 10th place though. Out making further ground. I think it's unlikely he will win the race, but the top 3, well the top 6 actually, it's almost 2 races splitting in half now. Key has pulled away from Pariah, who was a sitting duck down the straight compared to Storm, who absolutely sailed on by and will get the move done down in towards turn 1 inevitably, unless Pariah is late on the brakes like Danny Rick. He's not. Maximus trying to go around the outside of the Haas. Billy and Maximus. Billy always on the right line there. A little bit of contact, I think. Hades just run into the back of Maximus. Wasn't expecting them to be that slow through there.
Probably, I mean, Maximus had a horrible run, but it was caused by the fight that was going on between himself and Billy. But it's interesting to see that now Storm, that has overtaken Pariah, has purple sector in sector 1. So he could actually try and catch Kiki. I think Storm, from these 3, I think he has the best pace, you know, and he could actually go for the win. The thing is, as we know, that Cautious is his second name, so his middle name. So he'll, let's see what he does. But I think with his pace, he could actually win the race today.
If Cautious was his surname, honestly, I think he wouldn't be getting past anyone, if that was the case. But Storm is in second position. Yeah, 7.5 tenths off currently in compared to Key. And my God, the last time these two battled out on track, it was probably one of the most sensational battles you would ever see in TTSL, which is now TTL F1 League 2. Storm beginning to get on the back. He's quicker, fastest lap-wise, but he's not close enough.
No, he was 1 second of Kiki, and now he's 5/10th. So probably Storm. Let's see what he does, but I think he can win the race. I mean, if he gets past Kiki and he's able to pull a gap, I think he has the race under his pocket. You know.
Oh, Billy was going to try one on the outside of turn 4. Not close enough to pull off the move, though. Beautiful helicopter camera. Maximus is round. And he was fighting for pretty much the lead of the race there. He was in, I think, P5 when he spun. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's got caught on the inside curb on the bump and he spun around, similar to what we saw with Maze in qualifying.
But he has front wing damage, so that means or he hit the wall, or he spun, or it was caused by other driver.
No, he hit the wall. It was on the right-hand side of the wall through turn 4, and he's pretty much just ended up flat into the wall, basically, there. So, unfortunate for Maximus. He doesn't really... Honestly, last season he couldn't really catch a break. This season, so far, he can't really catch a break either, because he's been quite unlucky the last couple of races, I've got to say, Maximus. Storm right on the back, though, of Key. Again, he is close, but not close enough, I don't think. He's a little bit closer this time around. 6.5 tenths running down past the straight. Lap 17 out of 29. If you've been enjoying the action here in TTL F1 League 2, then why don't you like, comment and subscribe to the channel, like Billy might be doing after this as he tries to go around the outside of Pariah on 10 lap all hards. Never gonna pull off the move. The Haas in a Toro Rosso sandwich as Hades is right on the back of this as well. The third position out on track. Hades, Billy down the inside of Pariah, getting the move done. He forces his way through. There was a gap there. Billy decided to take it, and Hades and Pariah, little bit of a miscommunication there. I think Pariah probably thinking, you know what, Hades, go through on the inside. He didn't, and Pariah is trying to attack Billy. These guys are working for each other, but they've just got to be careful because they're in a fight against each other as well.
Yeah, but honestly, if I was Pariah, I would just get off the way,
get
out the way. Because, to be honest, it doesn't seem like Pariah has the pace. Since he's on hards, his pace has disappeared. And he's just not there. I mean, he's 3.7 away from Kiki and Storm. So, definitely, he's not in the fight for the win. I don't know what happened, or if he doesn't feel comfortable on those hards, but he has some the pace.
Billy has essentially split this race up, I think, because obviously we were having that like 5-way battle for the lead. Storm right on the back of Key, though. Here we go. Is he going to try and pull off the move? Key, though, against Storm, running down the straight. That is Conti's AI card just ahead. Storm not going to be close enough. Pariah, however, is to Billy, and he's down the inside, down towards turn 1. Billy gives him the room. I think he knows that the tyres aren't really good enough. Gives him a tap for good measure, but Pariah is through and he's up to P3. I think Pariah would have needed the helping hand there with Hades right on the back. There's a little bit of background noise going on in the background there, so I'll just continue on in the meantime. Hades right on the back of Billy, but as I was saying, really this race is split in two. Billy essentially has put his Haas there, thinking, you know what, I'm going to disrupt the race completely. We should have had a 5-way battle for the lead, all being well. Billy stuck his car right in the middle of the action and said, you know what, I'm putting an end to this. Key and Storm then for probably the win, and Pariah, Hades, I think, for 3rd and 4th, because Billy will definitely have to come into the pits very soon indeed. He's on a set of 12 lap all hards when he comes to the end. The AI card just putting a little bit of pressure on the guys ahead for Pariah. Billy trying to go around the outside, much better through turn 12, avoiding that apex completely, which is not what I've seen him do before. but Billy right on the back of Pariah, and this is down towards the final corner. He should wait for the DRS. I think he's going to go past. He's going to give Pariah the DRS. Billy's down the inside though, he gets the move done, and as I was saying, a Storm is fighting for the lead of the race. I think that's what you were going to come on to. Storm right fighting for the lead of the race, side by side, then down in towards turn 1, late breaker, best of the late breakers, and it's Storm who comes out on top. Key is on the inside line though, Storm gives him the room, and Storm is round the outside, just about keeping it within white lines, but he's through and he's up into the lead of the race. Key could come back at him, not quite. Pariah through to third. Billy and Hades are kicking off as well. Down the inside into turn 4. Nearly 3 wide. Yeah, Hades right on the back of these two. But side by side into turn 7. I can't watch. Billy down the inside. Great defensive driving from Billy. Holding that car down the inside line. Pariah's going to come back at him though. He's launched one. That's too late. Hades will now go past, and Pariah will probably free up Hades for the space. However, no. I don't know what the game is. Hades is looking quicker than Pariah. Why doesn't he let him through?
That's the problem. I mean, Pariah, since he's on those hugs, he doesn't have the pace. And Hades is just losing time and time, you know. And honestly, he's wasting a good chance to be on the podium. And Pariah has been sending dive bombs all over the race, you know, so it wouldn't be a surprise that in one of these dive bombs, in the end, it goes bad, you know.
I know why Hades is standing behind Pariah, because he's got penalties. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. I've just checked it there on the race director. Key is coming back at Storm. Look at the straight line speed of Key. Down the inside, he's going to sail past him down towards turn 1. The McLaren has jet propelled down the inside. What a move. Storm trying to get the switch back. Key just defends the line for all heaven's sake. And Key leads the way here in Bahrain, but by God, this battle's not over and done with yet.
I have to say that Storm was not, I think he didn't intend to fight that one. He was on non-ERS, that's why Kiki had such an amazing straight line speed. So probably now Storm is trying to save ERS because the situation is quite opposite. I mean, Kiki is, well, it's actually mid-battery. As we can see, Storm running full battery right now. As he go on overtake mode, might he try the move right here?
No.
I mean, impossible to try. He's not trying. He'll probably wait to the main straight to try and go again.
Storm will wait for the main straight, but through the corners, Key is looking quicker than Storm. If Key can pull out a gap to about 5 or 6 tenths coming through the final corner, I don't think Storm's got a chance down the straight, because his straight line speed setup is more enabled essentially for the corners out on track rather than the straight line speed, because you saw Key last time around with the DRS open and with the gap pretty much being at 5 tenths. Storm has got to try and commit to this move now. He's a little bit closer, but again, I don't think he's close enough. Look at how lethargic that racing point looks. Down towards turn 1, not gaining at all.
No, he's not. Definitely, I mean, I don't know if he's saving.
Oh, Hades! Oh my God, Hades! Jesus Christ! He nearly went in the back of his teammate. I'm sorry to cut in. Hades nearly went into the back.
No worries, yeah. And that was really close because I was actually watching, and what I was about to say is that I don't know if Storm is saving or what, but yeah, his straight line speed is worrying because he's not being able to overtake Kiki on the straight with the DRS. So let's see if he's just saving ERS or what, but he better improve that situation.
You know what though, we saw it in the Challenge Cup actually with Storm. He liked to attack the last couple of laps of the race. I think that's what his game plan is here tonight. Try and force Key into a bit of a mistake, try and get the lead of the race, and then try and go from there. But as I was saying, in the Challenge Cup, I've seen it before with Storm, where he commits the final couple of laps, probably around lap 25, 26, 27, around that point, he commits, and then he takes the lead of the race. He's got the pace, but in that car down the straight, I'm not so sure. Key again, look at the run he gets at the final corner and puts on the pressure down the straight. He's a little bit closer this time, Storm, running down towards the final corner. Pariah is on the back of Billy as well. I'll catch on board with that in just a second. Storm, is he going to commit the move down the inside? Again, not committing the move. This is his game plan. He's just waiting towards the end of the race as Billy tries to force Pariah. Pariah down the inside, then on Billy. Battle the left breakers. Billy driving the outside. If he can defend this, what a move by Billy. How on earth he's defended that, turning a negative into a positive, and he's up into P3. We've also got battles going on further down the field. Jeffrey, where on earth's Mashiro came from Jeffrey? That might be why Jeffrey's on 18 lap all hard.
Yeah, Jeffrey probably is just struggling, you know. He probably like he's doing Billy's strategy, but he's far from the pace from Billy as it seems. Now Mashiro is just all over him, and I don't know if Mashiro gets past Jeffrey, if he'll be able to catch Access. That's actually quite telling.
He won't. I don't think he will, because it's 7 laps to go. Essentially, he's got to cut in a rate as he tries to go down the inside into turn 10, not quite getting the move done. But essentially, he's got to cut through a rate of about, what, 8-9 tenths per lap, I think, Mashiro on Axnes. That's impossible around here, and especially with back a key coming into the final corner once again. 23 out of 29 about to begin. Key leads, force them down to the pit wall. Storm trying to go around the outside line. He's going to have to be forced around the hardware. Key looks very much quicker though down the straight, down the inside line, down towards turn 1. The McLaren and the racing point, but this time Storm with the traction gets the move done.
Wait for the straight line speed, because now it's
here comes Key.
Amazing. Once again.
Doesn't look like he's actually caught up. No. Key around the outside though. Oh, he's got the move done. What a move!
And what a save from Storm, because I think he closed
too
much on Storm, and Storm he did a miraculous save there. I don't know how he did it, but he's still on the fight, and I have to say that Kiki had non-ERS mode on that straight, on that second straight, so he probably wanted Storm to be ahead, but Storm had the same strategy as Kiki, and that was a close one.
Storm just since losing there through turn 4, you can see him actually trying to get heat into the tyres. I think he's now losing his rhythm out on track. You normally see with this drivers, when they make a mistake, they cannot get physically back into that rhythm out on track. And Storm has hit that point, I think, out on track. And quite so, he's saving up his ERS. He's 5.5 tenths off at this stage. I don't think he'll be close enough to move down into turn 1. Key essentially now can control the race. If he knows Storm has made a mistake in behind, he can exploit that and begin to pressurise Storm into making a mistake himself. So it's a bit of essential reverse psychology out on track.
Yeah, and
Jeffrey, sorry. Now. Jeffrey around the outside of Passel through turn 11, job done.
And Hades overtakes his teammate in the straight. So probably team orders.
Oh yeah. Definitely team orders.
Yellow flags in sector 2.
Mercedes. At Storm, I think.
Every time I see yellow flags, I imagine the safety car coming out, and imagine what an end to the race we would have.
Safety car's off.
Be insane. Seriously?
Safety car is off. Yeah.
My bad.
It's ever since Belgium last season, TTL F1, where we've cancelled that. If you want to go back and watch TTL F1 and Belgium last season, season 16, if you want to watch that and know what I'm talking about, then go ahead and do that, because yeah, you'll see what happened. That's what I'm going to say on that.
I mean, it's actually shocking, because imagine the situation if the safety car was gone, and they go side by side, and had a Billy, showing that he had much more pace and that he could have go probably for the podium, maybe, I don't know, but he lost too much time with his teammate, and Billy doesn't want to give up, and fastest lap from Viking.
He is catching Storm there as well, right down the bottom of the field there in 14th and 15th. We've still got 15 human cars going right out on track, which is unbelievable. Here comes Storm then on Key. This time he's going to get the move done, and that's what I was on about. He likes to commit late on into the race and force the car behind to try and force himself into a mistake. Storm then is into the lead of the race. Billy, I was just going to cut on to say he'll have to pit before those tyres puncture, and he's into the pit, and I think he might be coming up behind maybe Mays Charlie if he comes out of the pits now. Just seeing that on the mini-map. Just behind, I think.
Oof. Let's see.
Yeah,
it's
just
gonna
behind.
be close. Yeah, behind.
Oh, Storm goes too deep.
Yeah,
Storm running very deep through turn 8.
We're gonna see an incredible end to the race. I'm gonna check if they have penalties because this might be decided.
Jeffrey making eye-catching progress through the field though. The Red Bull man up to 10th. Next up for him is Mays. He will get those tyres towards the end of the race. So Jeffrey up into the final point scoring position here out on track. Billy, by the way, did rejoin about 2 seconds behind Atlas Coppo. He is now out in 8th position. Should get onto the back of Atlas Coppo, but apart from that, Billy's strategy might be something that has let him down, if I've got to be honest here tonight. He will only be on for 7th place. I think you're going to have a run down through the penalties.
Yeah, I've seen the penalties between Storm and Kiki, and they don't have penalty, but the difference is that Storm is in his last warning, while Kiki doesn't have a single warning.
Key!
So that's consistency. Oof, and he almost goes for the move. Storm goes deep, and now he will have now
switch back is the speed.
He's gonna open. Yeah, definitely. Storm
look at that.
Want to fight. Yeah, Storm. I think he has his strategy clear. I mean, he just wants to be behind for the final lap, you know, and just try to move there and try to defend it as much as he can. So, tell me.
Yeah, Billy got the move done down the inside into the final corner there. Good move down the final corner into P7. He goes. He's going to struggle though. He's 14 seconds behind Mashiro. No way he's going to be catching him unless it's on penalties. Jeffrey has got past on Mays as well, so he has comfortably through and he's up into 9th place. The soft runners beginning to really work their way into the race. A little bit too late, I think. Vax Viking as well gaining on Storm. YWR Storm, that is coming down towards the final corner. But the leaders are coming through just in behind them actually, through turn 12 and now into turn 13. It's Key and Storm. Russia all over again, I think extended this time out on track as Billy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Key and Storm though, battle for the win here under the bright night lights in Bahrain. What a season opener we have had. We've got 3 more laps to go. Storm right on the back of Key running down the straight. Can the Racing Point then get a move done on the McLaren? It's been like a yo-yo effect between these two. Storm down the inside. Key will hang it, trying to go for the switchback. He could go switchback through turn 2, but Storm this time has got the run through the corner and he masters Key and he's now into the lead of the race. Key's beginning to close on him. Look at the speed, look at it. Oh, he's overcooked it completely. He's dived it too much. Storm has got ahead though. Never going to pull off that one dive. That was a bit too ambitious for my liking there.
I think he watched way too much Ricciardo, you know, and he felt optimistic about it. But that didn't go well because Storm is back into the lead. But actually this could be positive for Kiki being behind. And if he maybe stays behind for the final lap, you know, he might be able to try and go for the move on the final lap.
Back to Viking and Storm there, just fighting for P14 and 15 out on track. These guys really going at it. Vax Viking trying to go around the outside through turn 11. They were side by side through there. And Vax Viking, I think, just waiting for the DRS straight. I'll cut on board with the leaders in just a second. We'll catch on board with this battle for essentially the human wooden spoon out on track between Storm and Vax Viking. Vax Viking right on the back of Storm. P14 and 15. Vax Viking just sailed on by. So the Williams and the Mercedes swap positions. So Vax Viking up into the 14th position out on track. Here comes Key then on the back of Storm. Penultimate lap of the race here in Bahrain. Storm and Key still finding it out. Key has got the straight line speed. He's got a lap older tyres, however. That could come into Storm's advantage towards the last lap. And Key's got the move done for now into the lead of the race. But Storm is coming at it. These two have battled like titans out on track, if I've got to be honest. It's been phenomenal to watch. Storm is down the inside of Key. These guys love pulling up manoeuvres on each other because Storm's just done Key down the inside into turn 4. Good move.
And what I like is that they don't mind, like, they are not thinking about the strategy, you know, they are not thinking about if I stay here, will I be able to overtake? Nah, they just go for the move, you know. And I thought that Storm would try to be behind Kiki for the final lap, but he hasn't, and he just go for the move again and again and again, and that has allowed us to see an amazing battle as Storm went.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Clever.
Has he?
Hang on a minute.
I thought he had a puncture for a minute there. He juked me into that one. Storm is waiting for the DRS, so now we see.
That's what I call a clever strategy.
We see essentially a bit of a game of cat and mouse out on track between these two. That's the best way to describe it. Key and Storm for the final lap of the race. Storm, I think, knows he lacks in the straight line speed, so that is why he's gone behind Key. Final lap then. I'll cut on board with you after the race, Packer, if you don't mind. Storm is right on the back of Key though, down towards turn 1 for the final time. He's not close enough for the move this time. I think he might have just underdone his strategy a little bit, trying to go for the switch back through turn 2. Key gets the one off the corner. Storm, not close enough. That, I think, last opportunity to come will be turn 13, turn 15. Final 2 corners out on track will be the moves, possibly, to decide the race win. I think Key realises now is the time. He's beginning to lengthen, and Storm is saving up his ERS. He's actually saving up on fuel as well, by the looks. So Key beginning to pull away, and I think the more that advantage actually gaps out to Key's favour, as Charlie has gone past Maze down in towards turn 1. They're fighting side by side down into turn 1. Charlie and Maze. I think Maze has got round the outside, has he? I think he has. Yeah, Maze round the outside through turn 2, gets the move done. Storm on the back of Key. Final couple of corners await these guys out on track. Key and Storm have been literally hammer and tongs. It's been like David versus Goliath. This is the opportunity for Storm now to try and catch Key. I think he's underdone it though. They have got no penalties at all. And Key, I think, is going to come out on top of this because the McLaren is coming around the final 2 corners. Key, the most consistent driver of TTSL last season, is going to take a race win. And it's the round 1 here in Bahrain. It's 0.4 of a second, the gap for the lead of the race. Hatta is coming across the line in 3rd. He'll pick up penalties. Pariah gets 3rd as a result. Axnes gets 4th. Mashiro, good recovery from him being caught up in that early contact. He's finished 5th. In that race. The Japanese man across the line in 5th. Hatta's in 6th. I've got a bit of a sore throat. Trust me, it's nothing else. Billy is run out of fuel towards the line, but he comes across the line to be P7. Atlas Copo and Jeffrey gain. Atlas Copo gains. Jeffrey doesn't. Maze and Charlie flattened out towards the line. Final point scoring position. Who's going to come out on top? It's Maze who comes out on top. 2.5 tenths. They didn't have any penalties. Passes across the line in 12th. Maximus coming across the line in 13th, and hopefully Vatviken and Storm will come around the final couple of corners as well to complete for 14th and 15th position out on track. Paco, my God.
Well, I was about to say that if you still had any doubt,
Maximus took the fastest lap, sorry.
That if you had any doubt about if anyone could make a good recovery on Bahrain, well, Mashiro is your answer. What an amazing drive from Mashiro. He was, because he did 2 pit stop. You know, he was 1 pit stop behind, and he still got P5. Amazing stuff from the McLaren driver, and I have to applaud Storm and Kiki because they have done an amazing race. I mean, battling for almost the whole race, if not the whole race. It has been amazing to watch and amazing to commentate.
Absolutely, probably one of the best commentary experiences I think I've had in TTL F1 so far. And this is only round 1, albeit. It's Bahrain. We go next week to Spain. Well, tune in for that one, I hope, because hopefully you've got your fix of motorsport for this evening, given the circumstance that is going on in real life. It is Key who has unlocked himself, quite literally, by 0.4 of a second, taking it out on track. You can see how consistent they both were. Only about 1/10 of a second between their best laps out on track. That is phenomenal stuff out on track between them both. Storm finishing in 2nd, coming out trumps. I think his first sector, really the wrongdoing of him in that final lap. Pariah in 3rd. Axnes with a 3-second time penalty finishing in 4th. Mashiro gains on Hadders. He's up to 5th. Hadders down in 6th. Atlas Copo in 7th. Billy in 8th. Jeffrey in 9th. Mays picks up the final point scoring position with Charlie in behind. We also had finishes from Parcells, Maximus, Vax Viking. Maximus very unlucky. Vax Viking, Storm also finished. Conti, however, didn't. His car still was going round out on track. And what a race that was. And Key coming in, and I think alluding to the fact it was like Hamilton and Rosberg in 2016. I echo that.
Yeah, definitely it was. I mean, it was an incredible battle. And yeah, next week, yeah, it's what do you say?
Spain.
Well, we have Spain. Yeah, and oof, I mean, we have many teammates. You know, it could happen like in 2016. It would be funny to see the same action on turn 4. Both teammates crashing.
If we see that between them both, then honestly, I don't think we will be in the best place to commentate. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Spanish Grand Prix next week. And to really commentator alongside me, Paco Suarez. Paco, obviously, you're from Spain. It's a phenomenal track to commentate on. We usually get some good racing. What's your expectations coming into Spain next week?
Oof. I mean, generally Spain, I don't know why, it's a track that drivers don't like. I mean, not real F1 drivers, but eSport drivers. You know, they don't like Spain. It's true that maybe in the game it's weird because in real life it's difficult to overtake, but then in the game you have lots of action. So we'll probably see good racing, I think, and watching how the track is, it's very technical. So probably the driver that makes the less mistakes will probably win, will take the win. So I'm pretty excited to see my home race.
Yeah, it is hopefully going to be a fantastic race in Spain. If you have been, if you've got your fix of motorsport and want to see more next week, then come and tune in to TTL F1 League 1 on a Thursday and TTL F1 League 2 on a Friday. Phenomenal racing here in Bahrain across both races for this weekend. And we've got more action coming up for you tomorrow night. It is CRC, GT3, Tier 2 and Tier 1. Tier 2 from 7:30. Alan Cavi will be taking you through that one. If you want to get your fix of me, I will be taking you through 8:30 alongside Alan in the commentary box for GT3 Tier 1. And if I'm not mistaken, we're in Brno in the Czech Republic for those races. So hopefully you can come and join in for that one. Final thoughts then on what has been a fantastic night of racing. Are you excited for the rest of the season ahead?
I mean, can it really beat this? Because if they wanted to give us a good season, you know, today they've put the bar really high, you know, and it's gonna be really difficult to beat this. I mean, today we saw an incredible battle. A 4-way battle during a part of the race, but definitely if they keep it like this during the rest of the season, I'm pretty excited. Like, let's move on to the next round.
Spain next week. I can't wait. Paco can't wait, as it's its home track, and certainly I'm sure you can't wait. I wish you could really fast forward time to see what happens next week, but we can't. That is it then for what has been a fantastic night of TTL F1 League 2 action. I will end off the stream here. Fantastic racing. Well done to Key on getting the win. Well done to Storm producing a fantastic battle out on track. Mashiro with a good performance as well there in 5th. That is it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I've been James Head. He's been Paco Suarez. Take care of yourselves and look after each other. And we will see you next week once again for the Spanish Grand Prix. Good night.
Good night.